All right, all right. Let's see who is in the room. It's actually hard for me to see. This is my first time doing this stuff. We're gonna go with it. All right, so I'm not gonna hold on, I'm not gonna wait. As you guys fill in, I'll be so excited to see you, glad to have you. You can catch it on the replay. We are here at the very first episode of the Stay Out Your Lane podcast. And I'm really excited about that because, listen, I already know I'm going to get like 2 people. Hey, Yvette, how are you? Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate that. I know I'm going to get 2 types of people in the room, right? The first person is going to say, okay, stay out your lane. What exactly does that even mean, right? So I'm just so excited because I'm here to share with you, right? I'm somebody who, my name is Dr. Anissa Ferguson, and I'm somebody who has typically been operating outside my lane, probably since I was born. That's probably what my mother would say. But over the last few years, I've really taken and done a whole lot of different things. And I feel like it's so important to share because it really wasn't on my radar. And, you know, sometimes God will just take you and pivot you into what it is that he wants you to do. And so I'm being obedient and I want to share not just my story, but the story of a whole lot of people. So let's just get into it. So on today's show, basically what I want to do is 4 different things, actually. The first one is to tell you how and why I started this podcast. The second one is to kind of list a few goals for you who are going to be joining us on a weekly basis, because I want to get you guys involved. Also, to tell a little bit about myself and my story and sort of like how I became a serial entrepreneur and all the different things that I do. And lastly, because I want to share, you know, some actionable things that you can do, you can actually implement, because we're here to stay out of our lane. And because we're here to stay out of our lane, I want to make sure that each and every week we do some actionable to-dos, meaning that there's some steps and some work you got to do for yourself if you're willing to really stay out your lane and see all the things that God has for you. So just roll with me for a second. I just want to ask you guys to share this live video. If you will, let me see if I can post it up here for to share your live and text messages and stuff at the same time. I really appreciate that. Again, Yvette, thank you so much for joining me. And I'm really excited to have you on here. For those who are watching the replay, you'll get to see Yvette is a friend of mine through another group that we participate in on Facebook. And we had an opportunity to meet some months back. And for those of you who know me, most of you probably know me through my cancer journey, and we'll go into that in a minute. But when I met Yvette, she had this, she has the most beautiful hair in the world. And she had this really pretty curl. It was a pretty pink color. And we were talking about it because I think it was on the tail end of October, maybe, or early November. And you can correct me, Yvette, if I'm wrong. But she said she did it to honor a friend of hers who had cancer. Breast cancer, as you know, is the pink color. And so she was representing that. And she said, well, the next time I see you, hopefully when the time comes, I'll see if I can do a streak of blue, because I was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. And let me tell you, not only did Yvette do her hair in blue, which is amazing. I have to find a picture and post it somewhere because she's given me permission to do that. But she also, so sweet, sent me like a secret package in the mail one day, and I opened it up, and it was the most beautiful pair of earrings, a pair of earrings that she knew that I've been liking. It was like my favorite pair of earrings. And she gifted them to me, and I just was so in love and so grateful. So Yvette, I'm telling you again on air in front of everybody who's watching this now, who will watch this, thank you so, so much. It really touched my heart. So with that, let's get into it. So basically, I started this particular podcast because I wanted to do a few things. Like I said, I promised that there are 4 specific things that I want to allow people to get from this podcast. Because nothing I do is just like, oh, let me just do it because it's for fun. I believe everything is divinely ordered, that there's a purpose for everybody's life. Oh, thank you, Yvette. I appreciate you so much. And so one of the things that I want to make sure is that you get the stories. Yes, it's for stories, because you're going to get stories from some amazing people. And today's a little atypical. Let me just go back and preface that. Today is going to be a little atypical because normally I will not be on here by myself. I'm really not a big personal talker. You'll never know it, but I'm probably the most extroverted introvert that you would ever meet. But basically, I wanted you to get so many good stories, not only of success, but also of struggle from people who have really chosen to live outside of their lane and to do some different things with their life. The second thing that I promise to give to you guys every week is, an offer. And basically an offer of to extend yourself outside of any limitations that you might have. 3, why? I want you to be able to yield to that greatness that I know is inside of you and that you also know is inside of you. You just have to pull down on that. And the 4th and final thing is to leverage the tools and the skills that you already have to push you forward to do some other things. So it may not be something that's on your plate right now, but I just want to give you that freedom, because sometimes we feel like we need validation. Am I right? Sometimes I feel like I need validation if I'm honest with myself. Sometimes I'm just afraid to move. So I want this to be an environment where people feel free to be able to do some of the things that they want to do and just know that it's okay. And not just telling you that, but actually bringing people to the plate who absolutely know. Hey, Shelly. Oh, she's so sweet. Thank you so much for joining us today. Shelly's another one, a sweetheart. Oh my gosh. Once I get into the story, I'm happy to tell you guys about Shelly. She and her husband are just amazing, amazing couple. But basically helping you to, like I said, leverage and get yourself outside of the box that you've been in. So who am I? All right. So again, my name is Dr. Anissa Ferguson, and doing this podcast is just the funniest thing to me. And I'm telling you why, because I never, ever intended to do a podcast. I never, ever intended to be in business. I never planned to start a nonprofit, all of these things that I've done, write books. I never really planned all of that. I'm a pharmacist by training. My husband is a pharmacist as well. And we have 2 kids. Let me see, it's a little over 5 years now. And I can tell you how I remember 5 years so specifically. When I was I had my daughter in 2008. And 2010 is my son. Lord, they'll totally kill me if I get this stuff wrong. But I had my daughter, and all throughout my pregnancy with her, finishing up pharmacy school, I was just going through it, and I had this bleeding and just stuff. And I kept telling my doctors, I'm having these issues. They kept triaging it off if you're not having pain, you're okay. Hey, Katrina, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, so many amazing folks on here. I'm so grateful to have you guys. But I was having these issues, and lo and behold, they just kind of pushed me off to the side and said, hey, you're doing fine. And the clinician in me is saying, yeah, I'm probably fine. I'm sure it's nothing, because you don't ever want to think that. And I'm a new mother too, so all my clinical training just went out the door. Lo and behold, go out to Vegas, and the whole week I'm just feeling totally distraught. I had just had some lab work done before I went. And when I came back, literally my flight landed probably about 1 a.m. And I was at work at 7 a.m. So you can imagine the sleep that I had, none, right? And the doctor calls me and they said, we need you to come in. And I'm saying, can this wait? I pushed it totally to the end of the day, maybe about an hour and a half before I had to pick up my kids, because I really just felt like they were going to tell me I had hemorrhoids, because that's what I had been being misdiagnosed with for a year and a half. And so I go into the office, I'm sitting there, and I'm real irritated, because you just have to know my personality. If I come and you tell me my appointment is at 5 o'clock, especially knowing I have to get the kids at 6, then I'm expecting to be seen at 5 o'clock, at the latest 5:10. Now I'm gonna tell you, the 10 people dwindled in the office that were waiting. They dwindled to 8, to 6, 4, 2, and by now it's 5:30, and I'm all the way pissed. I'm all the way live, right? Because I'm saying, didn't I come here and I know I wasn't here before this person, and now I was ready to tell the doctor everything when I got back in that office. So get in the office, and this man tells me I have cancer. And I don't know, I can't age everybody who's watching this video, who will even listen to it later. But if you are familiar with Charlie Brown, when his teacher started talking, it was like, womp, 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 and you have no clue what's being said because they're an adult. I felt like the little kid listening to the adult, and I just focused on this crack in the wall, and I heard nothing else that he had to say. it was just so traumatic for me at 34 years old to be diagnosed with colorectal cancer that it shattered a lot for me. Now, I'll just tell you that story just to tell you how life will just change in a second. And because it changed in a second, I found myself in a hospital bed in DC, DW, for those of you from the DC area. And I was afraid, like life got real fast. And I didn't know what to do. Like I said, I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old at that time. Hadn't been married much longer than both of them. And so everything was new. And I just felt like, wow, this thing is just crashing on me. And so life was crashing on me. And I didn't know if my kids would want to get to know me, because I ultimately had a 20% chance of survival. At least that's what they told me at that time. And so, yes, I was definitely afraid. But to speed things up, right there in the hospital bed, one of the days, it probably was like the second week I was diagnosed, after being diagnosed. And I told my husband, I want to do something. I want to help somebody. And he was like, pump your brakes, homegirl. Like, why don't we just make sure you're good to go first? Anybody, just post the one in there if your husband or your spouse or somebody's always trying to slow you down, to tell you to just hold on and take care of yourself. Because I know a lot of the people that are watching, and I know you all are givers. So just drop me a 1 or something in there, just so I can see. So I'm not by myself. Yep. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm listening. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right. No, we're going to do this. I want you to bring my laptop. The next time I come for chemo, bring my laptop. We're going to get this going. So literally from a hospital bed in DC, I started a foundation, and like I said, some of the people who work with me on there, they're on here, and they know we rocked out that foundation for 5 years. 5 years. And it's just amazing because I kept laughing. I said, all right, Lord, this was supposed to be somebody else's work. Thank you for the ones. I appreciate you all. It's supposed to be somebody else's work in here. And I'm still here. So you trying to tell me I got work to do? Yvette says sometimes. I hear you. And it was just so funny because the work just kept coming, and we were still having people to bless over and over. And bring this into the realm of like staying out your lane. So this was totally out my lane. I had never thought about doing any nonprofit work. I had never thought about doing anything like that. But this is just something that just naturally progressed in my life. And so, yeah, talk about staying out your lane. But with that, as I continued to get healthier and we started walking, a lot of the people that will listen to this later will know me probably from a race that we started. It's actually a nationwide 5 and 10K. It's called Rectify the Race. Now, we did that also for 5 years. Have not done it. Well, we're probably not going to do it this year. We're kind of taking a pause and taking a break on some things so that I can do some of these other things. I wanted to be more impactful, wanted to do some other things. But actually, my friend Katrina, who's on here, she is the one who got me in all the trouble. Yes, I am blaming you. But it's a good blame. She encouraged me so much to say, hey, you know, we can do this. I called a bunch of friends together. We did a 5K. Literally on my off week from chemo, because my doctors kept telling me, you need to walk, you have to get your body back into its best shape. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do my part. And I called some friends, and Katrina and Shelly and like so many people, my family, friends came out. So it was probably about 30 of us. Got together, did a walk. And that's when she encouraged me. And the next year, when we did start Rectify, I was just thinking to myself, you know, hey, we had 30 or so people come out, family and friends. I have no idea what to, yeah, it's all your fault. Yes, ma'am, it surely is. And I had no idea how many people to anticipate. And so we were trying to, so sweet. Look at these comments. Power recognizes power. You are so amazing, so powerful, and so awesome. Thank you, my sister. So I'm thinking, okay, the first year Rectify, which we had in 2014, we're going to just see what happens. Literally 250 people came out to Rectify. I was dumbfounded. I had no idea what to do with all of these people. I mean, we made it through. We planned it out. We had it popping. Like, don't get it twisted. A sister and all her sisters and fellas, we had that thing organized so tight. But it just showed me something. You know, when God positions you to do something different, he's going to spin it and he's going to equip you for everything. It talks about that in the word, and I'm not really the best scholar when it comes to biblical terms, but it talks about he who he calls, he qualifies, and he also qualifies them, and he just pulls everything together. And so Shelly probably know it better, honey, because her husband, he's a preacher. She has all of these things together, but I'm telling you, God will do it. I've seen it in my own life. So that was one opportunity to stay out of my lane, right? So creating a foundation, also doing the race. I've never been a race director before in my whole life. Oh my goodness. Oh, Yvette's doing the 5K for survivors and strokes. Awesome. We'll have to keep you in mind for the next time. Oh, hey, Mel. Oh, thank you so much, Liz. Thanks for joining. Oh, wow. So I just wanted to say that. So in me doing this, right? So I'm doing the race, I'm doing the foundation, and then people started asking me to come and tell my story. And I was like, I don't have a story. I'm out here surviving, trying to do my best job. My husband always says that I minimize myself, and I never really just say, okay, this is what I'm doing. So I started owning it, and I started telling my story. Churches, different groups or whatever, community groups, I would just tell my story. And as that came along, so that was another change lane, right? But with everything, you got to know me. I always try to pay it forward or pay it back by paying it forward. That's been my motto for quite a few years now. And so I had to start putting my stuff in a book because people were always asking for more when I left. And so, hey, Uncle G, how are you? Thanks for joining. That's my uncle joining. I'm so appreciative of my family and friends. I thank all of you for joining. So I started writing. I wrote a couple of books, and then I looked around, and it was like 7 books in 18 months. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm doing these things. And it was so cool because one of the things was a trilogy I did with my kids. And so actually we're releasing the last 2 books here shortly. And I think a few people have purchased different books from me. So I'm so grateful, but I couldn't stop there. So I started teaching other people how to write books. I did a few master classes, and I was about to do another one, but I had to do some more training because I felt like I wanted to get a little bit more. And so thankfully, I'm glad to announce that I will be releasing that soon. And I'm actually going to put something in here because I have a free course coming up that you guys could be able to take advantage of. It's actually on my link tree, and I don't know if I put the link in there. But I do help people to tell their soul stories, basically. And I think that that's also a huge thing with the podcast, because it's like you can write a book, you can tell them the podcast, however you can get your story out there. Even when we do, when we helped people in the foundation, it was always trying to put their story forward. And granted, because it's very sensitive and people have cancer, they don't always want to be out there. And we've actually lost a number of patients. I'll be honest with you. We have lost a number of patients. It's really touched my heart. Even today, a family member, someone that I love very dearly, I was there, I was working and I was there, who came home on hospice today from a cancer diagnosis. And so, life just happens. Life just happens. And so, like I said, the podcast and all of these things were not necessarily things that I felt like I wanted to do. And it just kind of happened. But I'm so excited because I don't want it to only be my story, right? We all have stories to tell. And I feel like I'm a big advocate and a pusher of that for other people. So with that, I just wanted to, just take a second and just allow us to think about all of that. What things are we surviving? Because for real, we're all surviving something. All of us, whether it's depression, loss of a spouse, loss of a child, different diseases. I mean, it's so many things out here that we're all just surviving. And I would always get this comment from people when I would speak. They would always say, oh my gosh, when I'm going through this, but that's nothing because you went through cancer. And I would always back up off them. And I would say, you know what? I would ask that you take that back. And the reason that I would ask that they take it back is because you can never compare what you're going through to what somebody else is going through. And I just say that to you right now. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Just because somebody's going through cancer, okay, that's their challenge, yes, and it's challenging. But whatever you're going through, depression, suicide, I mean, so many things, that's your story. Maybe you're just taking care of a loved one. And I don't say just lightly. I don't mean it like that. Suppose you're going through a tough time at work and maybe you're facing racism or all these things that are happening in our communities right now. Those things are important. Those things are pivotal. And so with that, I really feel like it's important for me to impress upon you guys. And I'm going to actually now go through and give you some actionable to do. Because like I said, I don't want this podcast to just be me and other folks on here just showing off and talking about things that we've done, because that's not important. That's not helping you. So the thing that I want you to do and I want you to take away from today, and like I said, today for you guys who have just joined, today is atypical. This is just me introducing a podcast. I have really selected from the best of the best people to come and talk to you. And when I say that, it's not such lofty people that you can never attain what they've done. These are everyday people. Now, some people you may look and say, oh, they've done this, they've done that. I can't compete with that. It's not about that. This is about you getting from them and from their life and pulling from them vicariously whatever you can to be and have and live your best life. And that's my whole goal. So again, actionable to do. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly for you guys, because I really want you to get this. And I think no matter where you are, whether you just want to, you're not looking to get into any business, but you just want to live your best life, it's okay. Like I said, sometimes you really just need that person to say, all right, I just need to be pushed and know, is it okay if I do something different? Like I said, I was trained as a pharmacist. Do I do pharmacy work now? Not in the conventional sense. But me having a clinical knowledge has allowed me to be able to speak to so many people. Yeah, and it is, you're right, Shelly, it is about impact. It's about how we're touching the lives of other people. And I'm always about that. I'm going to always be about that. And so I laugh upon myself, the soul story strategist, because I'm always trying to teach people how to tell their stories. Because the stories, for real, they don't belong to you. They don't belong to me. They belong to the people that we're going to impact, and whatever purpose God put us here, that's why we're here, and that's what our story is for. So I'm here trying to do my part just to help you guys along, because at the end of the day, that's all we have, right, is our story and what we've been through. So, oh, thank you so much, Marcelina. I appreciate you being on. Thank you so much. So this is the actionable to do. All right, so every week we're going to meet on Thursdays. We're going to have interviews, like I said, with some amazing people. But for today, let me tell you what I need you to do. And you don't have to do it now, but I want you to pull out a notebook. And I don't mean, I'm guilty, but I don't mean put it in your phone. Hey, Kim, how are you? To put it in, not to put it in your phone, but to actually write it down. Because there's something about having a thought and actually writing it down on a piece of paper that makes such a huge difference in your life. So what I want you to do is, on one side, I want you to fold it into 3 pieces, or you can have 3 different sheets, however you want to do it, works best for you. But on the first sheet, I want you to actually put down what your skills are. What are you trained in? What were you, with high school, college, whatever it is that you're training in, I want you to put down all of the skills that you've acquired there. That's your first piece. Then the second piece of that is for you to put down all the things that you just like to do. Do you like to write? Do you like to draw? Do you like to sew? Do you like to build things with your hands? Whatever it is that you enjoy doing that brings you peace and just enjoyment. Write that on the second list, or the second tier, the one piece of paper. Then on the third and final one, I want you to put down things that you like to do, that you would like to do or would like to do more of. Okay, so you have 3 things. Let's recap. 1, the skills you already have. The second one are things that you like and enjoy doing. The third are the things that you would like to do, the things that you would like to grow from and see. And what you're going to do, and you're going to work through this hopefully over the coming weeks while we're together. And this is not going to be always like busy work or nothing like that, but this is just for self-improvement. I want you to analyze the 3 lists. And I want you to see how these things can congeal and how they can come together to create new areas of impact, information, and possibly, who knows, even income for you, right? Depending on what it is that you want to do. But pull all these things together. Oh, she says, thanks for work. I have never heard anybody tell me thanks for work, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Yvette. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys' interaction with me, being gentle on me on my first time. You guys going to get all of the special stuff because this is our first time together. Yep. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat, Shelly. Shelly says the first one is, what are your skills? Yes. The second one, we're going to be together on Thursdays, Yvette. This was just a special introduction. Okay. Yep. So the second one is the things that you like to do. Thank you so much, Shelly. And then the third one will be the things that you want to do or want to do more of. And as you begin to pull this list together, or these lists together, you start analyzing or looking across all of them and trying to see new areas of impact. Like I said, I never planned to be on a podcast. back when I started the foundation, there really wasn't such a thing as a podcast. And if it was, it wasn't anything mainstream. It certainly wasn't anything that people, were really talking about. I'm sorry, let me put number 2 back up. Things you would like to do. Thank you. And then 3 things you would want to do. And I think that as you do that and you work through these lists, you're going to really start to identify some things about yourself, and ultimately you're going to stay out your lane. And instead, you're going to start to command your life's highway. And that's when you really open up. That's when things are just like going to just explode for you. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wow. I'm doing an awesome job for my first time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really try to put some thought into it because I wanted to give value, because at the end of the day, that's all we have, right? So I'm not going to go longer than my 30 minutes because I feel like people, our attention span, let me just say, my attention span at 30 minutes is like out the door. So I just want to reintroduce the fact that I am going to have a free training online for people who are interested in writing and telling their story. As an introduction, I'm going to have another huge class coming up after that. But just for now, if you just say to yourself, you know what, I do want to kind of figure out how I could tell my story. I don't want to commit to a class, but this is free, and hey, let me take advantage of it because I'm all about free. So, so if you can see, there's my Linktree address there. You can go put this in your browser, Linktree - Dr. Anissa Ferguson, and it'll take you there, and you'll see the class, and you can just sign up on there. So take advantage of that when you get a chance. Lastly, as I close, let me tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first real day of the Stay Out Your Lane podcast. And can I get a 1 from anybody who's ever watched or does chronically, chronic. I'm always talking about pharmacy stuff. Habitually watches the Steve Harvey show. Anybody? Oh, awesome, Shelly. Thank you. Anybody watch Steve Harvey show? Just drop a 1 in there. Let me know. All right. So whether you do or you don't, let me just say, I'm pretty sure everybody sees or hears Steve Harvey one either in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night when you watch Family Feud. Like, you hear about him, right? So this guest that I'm having coming on tomorrow, you may or may not know her. If you're in the DC area, you probably have heard of her a little bit more. But she and her family, her husband, Derek, her name is Ramunda. Her husband's name is Derek, and their daughter's name is Mahogany. Now, probably some months back or even last year, you heard me talk about Mahogany Books. It's a Black bookstore here in the DC area that popped up in the area of DC, which is a little lower on a socioeconomic status, if you will. And, oh, thank you so much, Uncle G. And so they started this, they put this up, and it's just amazing, like how they did this particular bookstore. And they are booking like some major folks. And they were on Steve Harvey's show yesterday. Yesterday, my girl was on there and just dropping straight gems. And so she's coming to talk to you guys tomorrow. She has agreed to sit with me. And I'm telling you, she's phenomenal. So many of the other people I have coming in the upcoming weeks are just phenomenal. They're doing some things that, like I said, everybody on here I know is not interested in additional areas of income, but some people may be interested in that. And this is, nobody's selling you on anything or anything like that, but they're just going to be showing you some amazing ways that they've been able to generate extra income, how they've been able to impact other people, and just share information. And so she's coming on tomorrow. Also, if you have ever seen, I don't know if you've seen the movie. Actually, I'm really late to the party because I just saw, what is the name of it? The Hate You Give. Has anybody seen that movie? If you have not seen it, that is one thing that you need to go get on Apple movies or whatever it is, and you need to check it out. Especially in this climate that we're in right now, you have to check it out because she also literally just yesterday was a major day for her. She led and facilitated a huge group with the actual author, Angie Thomas, and the lead actor on there. I can't remember his name. But I mean, it was just amazing. And she is coming and she's excited to share these gems with you guys. And I'm excited to bring her to you all. You read the book? Oh my gosh, Shelly, you have to see the movie. You guys all have to see the movie. I think this is really, like I said, culturally where we are right now, I think it's something that hits home for everybody, no matter where you are, what your gender is, your your cultural background. It's just an amazing, amazing book. I mean, sorry, movie. So I guess I need to read the book. Everybody's read the book but me. And so you guys go check out the movie. And I'm going to put her name up here. Let me see if I can and put it up for you guys. So yeah, tomorrow's guest, her name is Ramunda Lark Young. She's actually one of my friends on Facebook, so you can go check her out. Or even check out their bookstore. It's called Mahogany Books. And the thing about their bookstore is that they have been in business for 10 years online. So you can find them online as well as Mahogany Books, named after their daughter, Mahogany. She's a sweetheart. She's super smart too. So I'm excited for all that I feel like this podcast is going to do for you all. I've been getting messages left and right from people I've kind of sought out to come to you guys, and y'all ain't ready. That's all I'm saying. Y'all not ready. So that's our guest for tomorrow. Please share this again. Try to get the word out. I really appreciate having all of you on here. I'm so moved. I'm so touched. And I hope that little piece of my story has resonated with you all, for you to like dig deep, pull out those lists. It's not a game. This is not for us. It's not homework for me. It's homework for you, because I want you to live your best life, and I want you to get out here and tell your story. All right. I see you. Thank you, Miss Ann. She said dreams equal reality. Yes. And the things that you speak out your mouth, and this is one of the things that I have been doing too, and this was not planned. I'm just going to wrap it up with this. I want you guys to really think about affirmations and how affirmations can really shape your life. Now, I'm not somebody who says, oh, let me go read these affirmations off this list. No, I made my own affirmations up based on things that I wanted to do, because the power of, the power of life and death is in the tongue, right? And they say you speak things as though they are. And so I just decided to start speaking some things. Like I said, I'm not really out here trying to do anything or get anything. I just want to give. I want to be in a position of giving, because I know when I take care of God's business, He's going to take care of mine. Okay, and I'm not going to get preachy, and I hope that this is not a turnoff for people who may not believe like I do, because I don't want to impress upon you guys anything that you don't want to have impressed upon you. I really just want to, but basically I can't tell my story without saying how good God has been to me. So with that being laid out, I just really want to impress upon you guys to start thinking about some affirmations, some things that you want to do for yourself. Oh, thank you so much, Shelly. I just want to make sure that you are outlining those things for yourself, and then you can put some things in action. Because for real, if you don't have a plan, there's nothing. There's nothing. You can say whatever you want, but if you don't actually put it down in writing, like I said, no iPhones, and I'm guilty. But if you don't put it down and you write it and actually do it, it's gonna never get done. It's just an idea. Like, I have tons of ideas. People, you guys know me. I'll talk about my ideas all the time. But until you actually put it in motion, it's just a thought. It's nothing. We need exit. So get your notebook. If you don't have one, run to Target, grab you one, and really make this about you and about where you can take it. Because just think about all of the people. Had I not said yes to today, there are a few people on here that may not have gotten this little nugget, right? And I may think it's intuitive for me, but it may not be intuitive for you. So I just want to pass this knowledge on. I hope and pray that you guys have a great rest of the evening. I'm going to get in here and get with my little folks too. I still, my little people, they're growing up, but they still need mom. So I want to do that. And I impress upon you guys to also spend time with the people you love and show them that you love them, because tomorrow's not promised. But what I can promise you is, if tomorrow does come, which I'm praying to God it will, that we're going to be in here and it's going to be straight fire. So I need you guys to make sure you're sharing this for me. I don't care if you do it afterwards. People can catch the live replay, and we're just going to get it on. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you so much for being on. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. So again, I want you to make sure you're staying out your lane so that you can go forward and command what? Your life's highway. Have a good night. Be blessed, everybody. Thank you again for chiming in, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. Same good place, same good channel, 8 p.m. Talk to you then. Be blessed. Bye-bye.